Hello and welcome to part 2 of the TBE E3 special.
The TBE3.
The TBE3. I am Ryan.
And I'm George.
And today we're going to be talking about Sony's conference. So yesterday we spoke about Microsoft's, so it's Sony's turn today.
Yes, it is. And we're going to be putting on any of the little extra bits right at the end. So stay tuned for that if that's the sort of thing that tickles your back.
Yep. So the first thing which tickled my bag was the first game that Sony showed, which was called Horizon. Now this is the game from Guerrilla Games, and it looks incredible. So you kind of play as this woman from a tribe who's fighting against these big robot mechanic dinosaur things.
Oh yes, I did see this. Yeah, the dino robots from outer space.
Yeah. So I mean, it looks
seems like
incredible.
a future, past, future.
It's a weird kind of thing, yeah. So I think it is actually in the future. No, I'm not even going to go into it. I'm not quite sure. I think it's the
it's in the future where they bring robots.
Where all like power dies and then the plants take over. Is this Plants vs Zombies?
That's another game we're going to talk about a little later.
Yeah, but basically no, it looks really cool. So you've kind of seen some quite unique gameplay. You kind of see this woman fighting against this huge big dinosaur, and she's shooting like these leashes up at it and tying it down to the ground, and it falls over, and it looks really fun.
It reminds me of a film that's come out recently.
Jurassic World?
Jurassic World. Not that that happens, I'm just saying dinosaurs are in that too.
Yeah. Not robot dinosaurs, but, you know, maybe Chris Pratt will make an appearance.
Maybe, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. It's always cool. Just stick Chris Pratt in anything.
Yeah, at the moment that's kind of how the world is going. If you want something to succeed, stick Chris Pratt in. In fact, Chris Pratt is our new host of TBE.
Yes.
Hi, Chris. Moving swiftly on.
What was in that coffee?
Moving swiftly on.
So another big Sony exclusive is No Man's Sky. Well, I say Sony exclusive. It's not a Sony exclusive anymore because it is actually coming to PC. But it's
which in turn will mean it's coming to Xbox at some point.
At some point, probably, yeah. But it's called No Man's Sky. So No Man's Sky is a game I've been looking at for a long time. It's something that I love and becoming an industry trend. Is a procedurally generated game. So every time someone lands on a new world, then it's completely randomized.
Yeah,
so
this is becoming not just it. I thought this was an industry trend years ago. Like since Minecraft started doing it, I was like, oh, this is in every game. This is gonna happen all the time. And yeah, that's exactly what's happening. It's what keeps games alive now.
It is. It's really cool because of no one's playthrough is exactly the same. It's completely unique to everyone. But yet at the same time, it does have multiplayer elements. So the planets that you land on and whatever you do to them will still show up in other people's games. So you can. The whole point of it is that you find new planets and then you basically make your mark on them. So whether
just take out your cock and as a pistol.
Probably. Well, this is what
make him up.
This is what the developer of it was actually saying, that because of all the world names and stuff are... No, he wasn't saying that. All the world names are completely generated. He was worried that he was going to land on a planet and it'd be called, like, fuck your relative. Yeah, so it's kind of... It's cool, but it can throw up some awkward situations.
Yeah. I mean, you actually sort of caught up on the Sony conference. I had a very, very vocal Twitter opinion about the Sony conference, which is, no Crash Bandicoot, I don't care.
Yeah. Which is weird, because actually a lot of Sony's conference was based on the whole nostalgia factor. It's a bit of a shame that there's very few games coming out this year. It was all... mostly games coming out in 2016 and beyond.
Right. I mean, 2016 is not too far away now.
It's not too far beyond, but it's still going to leave a lot of PlayStation players twiddling their thumbs quite a bit this year.
Really?
And I mean, they're not even going to be showing up at Gamescom, so that's a bit of a shame.
The thing I get with E3, Gamescom, and all these other conferences is surely, like, you have the big ones from the developers, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. You have the big three, and then you've got all the little conferences like EA's conference, Ubisoft's conference, Activision's conference. Surely they announce games for these new games for these consoles at their conferences.
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, they've done it a lot better this year because that always was a really weird thing because of they would announce at like Microsoft and Sony's conferences, they would announce a lot of multi-platform games, whereas this year that they have focused more on exclusive games.
Yeah,
to
which
their
makes
own
more sense.
consoles, which makes a lot more sense. But then at EA's and Ubisoft's conferences, they'll announce a lot of multi-platform games.
Okay, so PlayStation users, you're not going to be completely without games.
Yeah, you're not going to be completely without. Like, you'll still have a lot of multi-platform games to play, but yeah, in terms of exclusives.
But even then, they're still not properly multi-platform.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of exclusive relationships going on. That certain content is only going to come to certain consoles and stuff, and quite big game-changing content as well.
So let's talk Dreams.
Yeah, Dreams is a really cool concept, but it could border on tacky, I think. So the whole point of it is kind of like a 3D Little Big Planet in a way, where people can supposedly easily create like whole scenes which are very dreamlike, and you can make it however you want. So it can be like nightmares, or you can be, you know, floating in the clouds of unicorn. But I don't know. It worries me a little bit because of clearly the demos were all very, very well pre-made by very creative people. Whereas I think when everyone jumps on it, I don't
It's
think
just going to be a load of willies and various other things.
Probably.
Sony, have you seen how the internet works? This is what's going to happen in your game.
Well, this is what happened with their what did they call it? Their like PlayStation interactive like TV show kind of thing, where you could have a webcam stream. That people were just using it to stream amateur homemade stuff. So there was a lot of
people are immature. That's the problem I find with all brands, is they go like, oh, I think can do this amazing thing, and then as soon as it goes into the public, it's like, here's the same thing with a willy on it.
Yep. We're often behind them. We're talking about matureness, and you know, that's us. Now, Final Fantasy is a huge thing for a lot of gamers, but it was mainly a PlayStation thing up until, when did the first Final Fantasy come to Xbox? I think it was on the Xbox 360, but Final Fantasy has been a PlayStation brand for a long time before that. So the first thing they announced though was kind of weird. I kind of thought that I'd accidentally tuned into a Nintendo conference, and this was World of Final Fantasy. I don't know if you've seen any of this.
No, I haven't.
It kind of looked like little Mii characters kind of running around, and it was all very weird, and I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. But then they showed Final Fantasy VII remake, which looks awesome.
It's very funny. I told this to someone who'd never played Final Fantasy before, and be like, Sony are remaking Final Fantasy VII, and they went, well, I'm 1 to 6.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy VII was
it's the big one.
Yeah. So I mean, people were losing their shit at this basically, and I was one of them. Again, I'm holding back reservations because it was a CGI trailer, and they've not announced any release date yet, which makes me think it won't even hit 2016. I reckon we're looking at more 2017. But yeah, we will see. It looks cool. I'm hoping they don't mess it up.
Yeah, let's hope they don't. Unlike what they've done with this other game. Ryan has some very strong opinions on this, and this is what we brought up in the last episode regarding money. Sony, for this game, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Shenmue?
Yeah.
Shenmue 3? They're asking people to... Essentially, they're kickstarting it.
Yeah, they're asking people to fund it on Kickstarter. It actually smashed Kickstarter records, but this kind of shows Sony's financial woes, really. I mean, now that it is funded, Sony are putting a bit of their own funding behind it, but I find it very embarrassing. I felt it really bad. Like this quite a legendary developer rolling out on stage and going, please give me money, I want to make my new game.
In that voice. In that exact voice.
In fairness, the translator was a bit like that.
Go to kickstarter.com/Shenmue 3. The thing with Kickstarter is now becoming really... They're getting under flack now, because they used to be this thing like, if you can't afford to do these things, hopefully people will give you money to make your project come true. And now these companies are jumping on it, and people are feeling uncomfortable about this.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It happened with the Pebble, in sort of with the watch, and then they did it with Pebble Time, and everyone's like, Pebble's this massively established company now. Stop going to this indie sort of thing. And Sony haven't helped.
Yeah, no, I mean, this problem, I mean, Sony are slowly turning their ship around. They've had to make a lot of big decisions. They basically cut off almost the rest of their whole business. They've sold their laptop line. Even in gaming, they've sold off like huge studios like Sony Online Entertainment and that. So it's a big pivot for them. But I think this kind of shows why there's a lack of exclusive games this year.
They just can't afford to make them.
Basically, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what sums it up.
Really weird to say about one of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah, or it certainly was. Yeah, but I think the ship is turning. I don't think we'll see the benefits of their decisions until 2016 and beyond. But let's hope that people stick with them in the meantime.
Yeah, so that they can talk about Project Morpheus. Which
they didn't do much of. And they quickly showed a couple of things that they're working on for Project Morpheus. Like Rigs looks really cool, which is kind of a first-person Titanfall kind of thing, where you're kind of like marching around in these big mechs. It's one of the
Everything's going mech. Everything. Since Titanfall, it's just mechs. Mechs. In fact, here is Chris Pratt in a mech.
And that would definitely sell.
This video is going to have 1 million views, guaranteed.
Just because we can stick Chris Pratt in the tag. We're not going to get 10 views. But we appreciate those 10 views.
Moving on, Call of Duty. This is a game which Ryan and I have very mixed opinions about. We went to Eurogamer a couple of years ago, and it was Black Ops 2, I think, at the time. And Call of Duty has always been this sort of very standard war game. How's Black Ops 3 looking?
Black Ops 3 is looking really good. I'm not as excited as I was for it as I was Advanced Warfare. Like, I seen Kevin Spacey in that, and I instantly just kind of was like, I need this game. And they did do a great job on that. It was a fantastic blockbuster game. Now, it was weird to see this on a Sony conference, because this has always been Xbox, like Call of Duty has found its home on Xbox. All the content deals and stuff were on Xbox, all the maps and downloaded content and all that kind of stuff came to Xbox first. Sony has now stole that content.
Wow. More, again, behind the scenes. Here's some money.
Yeah, although I don't know whether that was more Microsoft's decision to hold back because of Halo 5.
That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense.
Because Halo 5 is going to be going so head-to-head against Call of Duty, I think Activision know that Microsoft are going to be putting their whole weight behind Halo 5.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to renew that very costly deal, undoubtedly. I think that's what's happened there.
Cool. Moving on to Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront. I mean, that game looks insane. I mean,
this was talked about a lot.
Yeah, so it should. So Star Wars Battlefront is kind of like Battlefield, I suppose, reskinned in a way, but they've added so much more onto it, and it's Star Wars, so it's instantly awesome. You can slap Star Wars on anything, it becomes awesome.
Even Angry Birds.
Even Angry Birds, kind of. I kind of maybe go back on my statement a little bit now. But yeah, no, it looks fantastic. I'm a little bit bummed that you can't fly up straight into space and dock on ships in space like you used to be able to on the old ones. That was pretty cool. But it looks awesome, and one of my favourite things that's come into it is that it'll be split screen compatible. So, woo!
Finally, more like those extra few games that are coming that are split screen friendly.
Yeah, I thought it was the death of split screen, but no.
It's getting there.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that everyone is focusing more on graphics than gameplay these days. And the problem is it's very hard to push both. But somehow it looks like they've managed it with this game.
Fair enough. Speaking of graphics and gameplay, Uncharted 4.
Yeah, so
looks really good.
Uncharted was the reason I bought a PlayStation the previous generation, and it's a game that I absolutely love ever since. It's just, I don't even know what it is about it as such, because of it's kind of very Tomb Raider-ish, which is why Microsoft bought Rise of the Tomb Raider to be exclusive to their console, to put head-to-head against it. I don't think it will match up to it. I do love Uncharted.
Uncharted has the name and the backing behind it to really make it a contender maybe for game of the year? Don't know.
Again, I kind of really love it, but I can't put into words why.
Can anyone? If you love Uncharted 4, let us know in the comments why.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah, I can't really say much about it. But yeah, it looks great. The graphics look amazing, and yeah. But another 2016 game. So
cool.
You know.
Well, moving on from Sony, if we've missed anything from the Sony conference, please let us know in the comments, and we'll get a discussion going, and we'll be sure to let you guys know our thoughts on that in the description. But I actually wanted to really quickly, just at the end of this sort of episode, I wanted to bring up the others because they get often overlooked. Nintendo didn't actually technically show up.
Who?
Nintendo, that Japanese company that do that thing with that plumber. In fact, that plumber there.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I mean, he doesn't look too happy about what happened.
So yeah, no, Nintendo were at E3, sort of. They didn't really do a live conference like the other two, but they played a live video and showed off their new stuff. And I thought it was only fitting if we sort of said what the new stuff was.
What's how the staff didn't turn up? They used puppets instead.
Yeah, they literally used puppets, and it was just like, what the? What's going on? Am I drunk? What's going on? But the main games they revealed was, of course, let's start with a revival of StarFox. StarFox is 0. Someone rightfully said to me on Twitter, like, StarFox is it's one of the biggest Nintendo franchises behind Mario and Zelda. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they've finally brought it back after so long is a big thing. However, the graphics don't look like they've changed nearly at all. They look exactly the same. They've added some textures, but they're still very, very blocky, which I don't know whether that's just to sort of cater to the fact that they're the old thing.
Yeah, the thing is with Nintendo is that they have gone completely opposite to what Sony and Microsoft are doing. Whereas Sony and Microsoft are going very graphics over gameplay, maybe Nintendo's going a bit too much gameplay over graphics.
Maybe.
Like, Nintendo do have great gameplay in their games, but they always feel a generation behind every time. Like, I mean, when the Xbox 360 and the PS3 came out, obviously Nintendo Wii wasn't even high definition at the time. That only came out with the Wii U, and...
But the thing that Nintendo are doing, and this is why I really wanted to bring them into the conversation, is the fact that, and speaking about all the split screen, in my opinion, Nintendo are still one of the only companies that really are pushing the same room split screen.
That's
with
true.
The whole Wii U concept of having this, gamepad in front of you and then everyone else having a Wiimote or a controller. Like, it's the only one that I can see that they really want the split screen to think. Star Fox 0, I'm not actually sure whether that will be split screen, so I think I may have bit my own tongue there. But, for example, Metroid Prime Federation Force is going to be a multiplayer game. Yoshi's Yarn, yes, that is a multiplayer game, split screen multiplayer, where you can play as either a green Yoshi or a pink Yoshi.
You're right, they are very sort of party game heavy.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where I think they've gone, okay, Sony and Microsoft, you can have graphics, you can have that, you can have the really hardcore gamers, the people who sit down and go, I'm going to play 50 hours of Halo. But we want to cater this audience where it's kind of like, actually, kids, like kids who are kids, not kids who want to be grown-ups. So kids who actually want to go, actually, I just want to play a bit of Yoshi, Yarn, or Woolly, I forgot the second word. Woolly World.
What I've seen a lot of complaints about, though, was that there was hardly any Wii games there. It was mainly 3DS games.
Yes, yeah.
And I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit by announcing that they'll be releasing announcing a new console next year.
Yes.
So I think that's kind of shook everyone's kind of, do I want to continue investing in this console when there's another one coming next year?
Which I don't know whether that's going to be the case. Like, will people keep looking? One of the things I do really want to bring up, because we are a gaming show, and he is probably gaming's mascot, I'd say. Like, you think gaming, he's one of the first people you think of. But Mario's turning 30 this year.
Wow.
It is his 30-year anniversary this year. Mario, that is why they've released Super Mario Maker, the whole Maker and Mario levels.
Yeah.
Mario is 30. Doesn't that make you feel really old?
It does a little bit. I kind of think it makes Nintendo feel old. They need some new mascots. That's the problem. Well, as much as people love Mario and stuff, it's getting a little bit old.
I don't know. Mario's it's strong, and what they've done with one of the things is they've released an amiibo of the original 8-bit Mario, which you can play in
cool.
Mario Maker. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to see Nintendo sticking with their roots. But yes, I do agree they do need to come out with, in fact, they did come out with one game, and annoyingly, I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. But it looked very much
how memorable it is.
Yeah, well, it looked very much like a game I would rather I'd see on either a Sony console or a Microsoft conference. It was very, very away from the sort of the kiddie genre and very dark and very, you know, it was really strange.
They keep trying to do this with like Zombie U and all that kind of stuff, but it never really quite works out. But I don't know, they kind of need to hit into a wider audience, I think, because of Microsoft and Sony are also catering for like a kid audience as well as their hardcore audiences. So, you know.
But the kid, like I said, the kids who want to be grown-ups, like the kids who want to play stuff like COD and various other games like that. Okay, kids are playing more of these games, but a kid who just wants to be a kid and wants to just jump around as a little plumber, they still do exist. It's a smaller audience, but they do still exist.
Yeah.
And there is that option for them, as sort of as disappointing as it is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, give us your thoughts on everything we've discussed in this episode. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and yeah, and hopefully we will see you in the next episode.
Yes, we will.
Ciao.
Ciao.